What's going on, guys? John Santos, and today we are here at Bella Canvas. We have Loza, Kayla, and Renee joining us on this live stream, and today you already know what day it is. Today's the day that we're going to announce the giveaway winners, the $1,500 clothing line giveaway prize. We have 2 winners as well as everybody wins. So make sure, So make sure that you guys are ready, paying attention, and more importantly, submit your questions to this live Q&A. We have a panel here that's going to answer any type of clothing related, production related, print related type of questions. So let's get it. Awesome. Thank you guys once again for tuning in, and more importantly, make sure you leave your comments right down below right now with any other questions that you may have, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if we miss any of this information, it's always going to be linked in the description down below. So yes, let's start with some of the questions, and then we're going to announce the winners. Once again, the grand prize breaks down into 3 different prizes. Essentially, you got second place, which ends up getting a $50 sampling credit with Let's Print LA. You guys get the sampling credit with Bella Canvas, and you also get access to From the Ground Up Academy. And then we have first place, which wins $300 in printing credit with Let's Print LA, and you guys also get $300 worth of samples from Bella Canvas. That means you guys could choose from anything on their website, and of course you also get access to the From the Ground Up Academy for life. You guys are a part of that community there. So yes, let's jump right into the Q&A. Let's answer as many questions as we can. Let's do it.
Okay, so what is a good alternative to cotton?
Who wants to answer that one? What is a good alternative to cotton?
I'm gonna let the apparel girls handle that.
So the question was, what is a good alternative to cotton? I would say the tri-blend fabrication that Bella Canvas offers is a great alternative to our 100% cotton silhouettes. It's our most premium fabrication, the softest in the industry being a 40 single tri-blend, and we also carry the most colors available versus any other brand in the industry. So the tri-blends would be a good option for you guys.
Awesome. Amazing question. Keep those questions coming, guys. We're going to be pulling them from the live stream. We also had a couple questions that came in over the last few days, which we're also pulling from. So make sure you guys are commenting right now. And if you're watching, let us know where you're watching from. Comment in the chat room where you guys are located. We'd love to see where everybody is, and continue to expand there. So what other question do we have coming?
What's the first thing you would check off the list right before you launch your brand?
So the question is, what's the first thing you would check off the list before you launch your brand? Tamisha Hurley, thank you for joining us on this live stream. The first thing that you check off on your list before you launch your brand. I mean, there's a lot of things you probably need to check off the list, but I would say figure out who your market is before you launch your brand. I think that's the biggest, that's like the sole factor of where you're going to take the brand's direction. If you're not sure who the market is, then it could skew, and then you're just creating products and not really sure who they're for, and it's just not a waste of time, but it's kind of a waste of time or budget, depending on the designs that you end up launching. Do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, thank you. I think I would definitely say a subscriber list, right? If you're going to be engaging with your clients or your customer base, you're going to want to keep that constant communication going, right? So having some sort of like pop-up on your website where you can have any person visiting go in, put in their email address, and that way you can keep that dialogue going, so that as you continue to launch styles season after season, you're still keeping that kind of dialogue going.
That's awesome. That's a great communication.
All right. Let's see. Angel wants to know, what is the best shirt material you recommend?
All right, Angel, who wants to take that one?
You want to take that one?
So the question was, what is the best fabric that we would recommend? Personally, I would suggest our Heather CVC. Our CVC stands for Chief Value Cotton, which means it still has a higher cotton content. So it gives you that poly as well, 48% poly. So it's still at high cotton content, but still really soft and a really nice fabrication. I think that takes DTG really well as well. So that's a nice alternative.
And do you give tours at Bella Canvas?
We actually do give tours at Bella Canvas. You just go on our website and you can get the email at the bottom of the page, and then just email in to get an appointment to come take a tour.
That's Awesome. I didn't know that. I didn't know you guys
Yeah.
did tours here. So you guys heard there is tours here, so you guys could check out how they do such nice work. You guys also take them to the factory?
Yeah.
Oh, what? That is freaking cool. So yeah, take advantage of that and check it out on their website.
Spencer Horner wants to know how to copyright designs. Is that something you guys know?
So the question is how to copyright designs. So I would say, I mean, personally, in terms of designs, it's kind of hard to really get a copyright. I mean, you could submit a copyright, but the challenging part is in actually fighting that copyright. So you need to have the funds to go out and actually pursue that. So I'm not sure if it's still coming through. We are live here, guys, so there's a bunch of trucks coming just in case it's hard to hear. But yes, the main thing is you can copyright a design, but the challenging part is in you actually pursuing that legal battle against somebody who might be infringing in that copyright. And a really good example is, I believe it's Zara. The Zara retail brand was stealing artwork from artists. And then a bunch of artists came together to try to sue Zara, but it's going to cost them like millions of dollars to try to actually get those, get a monetary award. So I wouldn't say don't try to. You could do it, but at the end of the day, it's going to be up to you to try to get your money for doing that. So.
Miss Davis wants to know what is the best way to print vinyl?
Oh, Miss Davis. So she's asking the best way to print on vinyl?
Yeah, print with vinyl.
To print with vinyl. I'm not sure I understand the question. Like print. Oh, to print. Okay, to actually heat press, the easiest way.
What are the best fabrics for that?
Got it. To press on vinyl, yeah. I mean, yeah, usually, vinyl being a little heavier, I definitely recommend printing on something like our new fleece line, right? Usually vinyl, as I said, it's a little bit heavier than you would get like from a plastisol or a water base. So you're going to want a nice rigid kind of base that you could print on. Same with like puff inks, over time, which can kind of sag. You're going to want something nice like our heathered or our tri-blend fleece. I think usually adheres to that pretty well. As long as you got your curing temperatures right, I think, it's probably the best way to go.
What's the best way to start advertising my brand?
Cool. So the question is, what's the best way to start advertising the brand? I just recently met with somebody yesterday, and it was interesting because they were dropping a couple thousand on actually doing their cut and sew line. And the first question I asked them is I was like, okay, so do you guys you're spending this money? Have you started to market it or try to get the word out or figure out if it's going to be a product people want? And the guy said, no, I haven't. I figured I'd start the production and then start marketing it. But I think that's probably a very common mistake among people is I think the first thing you need to do to start advertising the brand is start putting out those designs for people to start seeing them. And like Renee mentioned earlier, build out that subscriber list and the people that are interested in your brand, because it's going to start with the people in your circle and in your own communities and in your extended network that are going to be the first buyers of this brand. So if you're in college or if you're a part of a community group, maybe either at a church or another type of a community you're involved with, it's going to be important to start letting people know about what you're working on and bringing them on board. And I think that's something that my partner Medine always does very well, is he really likes to connect with the people in the community before we start introducing new products. And by the time we actually launch them, there's people that are starting to adopt them. So that's definitely a really good thing that always works. And of course, social media is going to be important to have your social networks out and start also telling the story of the brand and what it is that you're working on. And afterwards, after you get that first base, then you can start working with the advertising and retargeting campaigns and all that. But it's really going to start with your own personal circle.
This could be for whoever. Dynastic Rule wants to know, is it better to start off with several pieces or one when launching a clothing line?
Oh, I'll let Renee, you want to answer that one?
Yeah, sure. So the question is, I guess, is it better to launch your brand with one piece or several? I'm kind of the fan of one. I think you get the one down, you nail it, you figure out kind of what works, what didn't, right? Versus having a bunch of different styles in your line. I think get that staple down first, go through all the trials and tribulations of getting that down. And then once you have that down and you found your niche, then that's when you kind of expand your line. But if you feel you have a great design and you're confident, then yeah, I definitely say pull the trigger and offer a variety of styles. I would say take a design and offer it on different products, anything from like, beanies and hats to, great t-shirts from Bella. Variety definitely helps, but I think first, nail that one niche down and then kind of expand from that's probably the best way to go.
Yep. It saves on a lot of the costs associated with printing logos and stuff as well, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Setup fees and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Great questions, guys. If you're just tuning into this live stream, perhaps you just saw it on the channel notification. This is the live clothing line giveaway, so we are going to be announcing the winners to the $1,500 clothing line giveaway. There's 2 winners, but make sure you guys stick around because we got an extra bonus for you guys right after we announce those winners. And we're currently taking your clothing line questions. So if you're starting up a clothing brand or if you're thinking about starting a clothing line, comment in the chat with your questions and also tell us where you're from. We'd love to see where we're reaching and where we can better assist with you guys.
For Bella Canvas, how can I order Bella Canvas products?
Okay.
Let me answer that. So for Bella Canvas products, you can order them through your local print shop, so you can get really the full package service. You can also find Bella Canvas product through your local distributors. We have wholesale partners that are capable of providing Bella Canvas nationwide, so you can look into that. We have a list of all of our distributors on our website, so you can go to our product locator or distributor locator and find exactly what you need in your area.
Great question. That's awesome. Cool.
Another printing question for Renee.
Okay.
How many colors do you recommend screen printing?
Got it. So the question is, how many colors we recommend screen printing? In any case, it depends on your design. Using something like a 4-color process or 6-color process, you can get photorealistic, results. And so it kind of just depends on what your logo and brand looks like. I think usually keeping it pretty basic with a 1-color hit, I usually recommend instead of going with more colors, go with less colors and go with more locations, right? You can do a nice 1-color hit on the front, get some nice size tags in the middle, maybe something on the sleeve to make it look like a higher end kind of product than you would getting out of maybe 6 colors on the front, but you're still using the generic tag. Bella makes these wonderful tearaways that you can just, rip on out and then print your size tags. It makes it look like a little bit of an upper scale kind of product versus having multiple colors. So that's usually my recommendation. It's probably better to do more locations than it is more colors.
That's cool. That's a great question. That's a great answer.
John, what advice do you have for branding apparel?
What's that?
What advice do you have for branding apparel?
What advice do I have for branding apparel? Yes. So to actually brand your apparel, I think obviously you're going to be printing on it to like put the name of the brand out there. So you're going to be creating your logo, perhaps that staple design that people are going to be able to recognize out in the market. That's part one, is actually just printing that logo or that staple design. The second part is in that messaging that you're going to put behind the brand. So what exactly does that brand stand for, and making that very clear across the website, your social media, and as well as the product. So like what's included with that product. So whether it's a hang tag or whether it's a special letter or a note or whatever you guys add as you're shipping your products, each of those little notes and details is what's going to kind of continue to help people understand what the brand is about, because ultimately, everybody makes t-shirts and everybody can print designs, but I think it really goes down to the core of what your brand stands for, and being able to showcase what it stands for on not just the t-shirt but also on your website, your social media, your hang tags. When you're at events with people, like how do you make them feel, and are they also getting that same message across? So it's important on how you carry yourself. If you say you're about motivation and you're about fitness, but you're overweight and depressed when people meet you, it's going to be a little hard to be able to stand for that. So you want to be able to resonate with your brand. So whatever that may be, you got to really live it. So it's got to be something that you're passionate about.
What's a good blank for gym apparel? This is from Beyond Limits, Never Less.
One for you.
So the question was, what is the best fabrication for fitness or silhouette? So to start off with, in terms of fabrication, I would suggest our tri-blend because it is moisture wicking, but the type of style I would suggest is our racerbacks. We have a lot of racerbacks, we have a lot of muscle tees, a lot of cropped fleece, a lot of cropped shirts, cropped racerbacks as well. They do really well, and a lot of our crops we do have a lot of crops, and those are really big for us this season, but they're all modestly cropped, so if you're wearing them with high-waisted leggings, you don't have to worry about showing your midriff. It hits at a modest length, so I would definitely suggest those styles, and the tri-blend fabrications, or our flowy poly viscose does really well as well.
What are some complete fails you've seen with designs?
Ooh, the question is complete fails in design and printing. That's a good question. Some complete fails.
Difficult to avoid because you've seen it happen.
You know what? I think a lot of people fail to make tech packs. You know, it's usually like I have a design, I have a logo, but there's no instruction to go with it, right? It's like, what's the placement that you want on the shirt, right? What are your Pantones? I see that day in and day out where someone just picks a random color and this is what I want, and they provide the printer with no reference. It's just like, just replicate this, right? So doing a call out like your Pantone is going to help your printer be able to mix the right color so that you can, have the same results across multiple styles. I think a lot of test printing too. I think people fail to like see when you want, let's say, a nice bright orange. Printing that on a white T-shirt, super simple. Printing that on a little more trial and error, doing a little more print tests, calling out things in your tech pack as far as placement and things like that. I definitely see a lot of brands who are very eager and ambitious fail because there's not enough thought process going into the actual production of the garment. Right? You're going to want to drop a tech pack so that you can replicate that T-shirt time in, time out every season, and always have a great product that your client's going to want to come and return buy every season.
Yeah. And just to add to that, we were just meeting with somebody yesterday, and a great example of not calling it out in your tech pack. This example cost somebody $40,000, and because they didn't notate what the waistband on a certain garment was supposed to read all the way around. So at the end of it, one of where the waistband connected, it ended up saying STD.
Oh,
because it didn't meet at the right points. Yep. So if you have a garment that says STD on it, that's a pretty big deal, and yes, and that's a $40,000 fail. So right out the gate, you really want to notate how everything is supposed to look about that product, because if you don't, and then the factory sends it to you like that, you didn't give them directions, so it's all on you. And then the other way around, you gave them exact directions, and if they mess that up, then you guys it's on them. So you're able to make that a win.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm just going to shoot out some places that people are watching from.
Oh yeah, cool.
Texas, New Jersey.
Texas in the building, New Jersey. Thank you.
Riverside.
Very cool.
Riverside.
Romania, my Romania. Woo! Oh yeah, Australia. I still need to visit Australia. I love it.
Toronto, Canada.
Nice, Toronto. That's so cool, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And if you're just now joining this live stream, again, we are in the live Q&A panel. So drop a question that you'd like us to answer, whether it's a print question, whether it's a style question, what garments you should use for certain applications, or whatever type of clothing line question you may have. Just drop them in the comments right now so we can answer them. And we're probably going to take 1 or 2, maybe 3 more questions, and then we're actually going to jump into the live giveaway announcement. So we got a question right here.
Yeah, I'd like to have you guys please speak to the quality of BELLA+CANVAS products and what separates you guys from the rest of the industry.
So at BELLA+CANVAS, we only use heirloom combed and ring spun cotton, and what that means is we use longer staples of cotton and comb out more impurities than any other brand, and we leave those impurities out. And the longer staples make for a smoother print surface, and I like to explain it as split ends. So when your hair, you don't get your split ends. The ends kind of fray, and you see all the flyaways. So when you touch it, your hair is a little bit coarse. But if you were to get a trim and then you kind of twist your hair, everything just falls into line and it's really smooth. Kind of like the lack of stray fibers in our heirloom combed and ring spun cotton. And all of our shirts are side seamed, never tubular. We never make tubular shirts because our bodies aren't shaped like tubes. So fit is everything for us at BELLA+CANVAS.
How do you keep brand consistency between men and women's clothing?
Brand consistency between men. So the question is, how do you keep brand consistency between men's and women's clothing? So if you're just starting out, I think that's probably a little bit tougher. I would say Nike does it really well, obviously, and so does Adidas and a lot of those major brands, because they really put those big marketing campaigns together to give a quality garment or a product to men and women. When you're just starting off as a brand, of course, you're kind of limited on the designs you could put out as well as the garments based on your budget. So I would say is, first of all, obviously the models that you're using, the people that's wearing it on your website, stuff like that, like the image that you're portraying should somewhat be along the same platform or that similar look or whatever it is that you're going for. So I think image is one thing with the models that you're going to be showcasing. The next thing is going to be the garments and how they all play in together to create that line between the men and women. And I don't know, do you have anything else that you think you could share in terms of consistency between the two?
I think just your voice and value, right? I think I would speak to a little, what I see some of my better clients do is like there's just consistency in their values, right? And what their kind of their voice and their message, right? I think once they've kind of narrowed that down and they've narrowed down that identity, I think it's easier to say, hey, this is kind of maybe something that's unisex that we use for kind of both silhouettes, right? And it's easier for a brand to produce that when they know their core values, right? So I think definitely highlighting that, if you know what your values are, if you know what your market is like, then it's going to be easy to design for any kind of silhouette.
That's a great one.
I saw your logo for Bella Canvas that it says sweatshop free. Can you explain why that's important and why you guys do it?
Yeah, absolutely. So the question was, Bella Canvas promotes that we're 100% sweatshop free. What that means is that all of our facilities, whether they're here in the United States, in Los Angeles, or overseas in Central America, they are all Platinum Wrap certified, meaning that we are held to the highest compliance certification. We ensure that we are following all labor laws, and the environments for all of our employees are humane and pleasant to work with. So that's something that we believe in deeply, and we are audited twice a year, so they really keep us locked down on that. We have had the certification as far as I know, so it's really fantastic that we're able to produce all this apparel 100% sweatshop free.
And then even adding to that, I think, fashion in the apparel industry is really going to shift more in terms of, creating sustainable garments, because right now, you see Kim Kardashian wearing a dress, and a day later they're selling it online for like $50, and that the people that are making that are probably like losing, they're working around the clock. Buildings are falling on them, so I think it's going to be a shift that as entrepreneurs and creators out there, you're going to need to start thinking about how can it be a more of a long-term type of garment that you're creating versus just a throwaway stuff, so realizing that people are willing to pay a little bit more for something that's going to last them a little longer, and then also making sure that you design for more of a multi-purpose or a multi-use type of situation.
Last question for me. Can everybody on the panel say a little bit of something to motivate or inspire the viewers about starting a brand if they're a little bit scared or timid, and why they should do it?
That's a great one. So I'll let Renee start.
Yeah,
We'll start from
I love this. Yeah, a little self-help. I love self-help stuff, so I love giving advice and stuff like that. I think, a friend actually used this word today. I think tenacity, right? Being tenacious, just like never stopping, never quitting. I think that's one thing I love about fashion is that there's seasons. There's 6 seasons, 4 seasons, however many throughout the year, where you can try new things, right? Where you want to be tenacious and just always put your best foot forward. If something fails, it's fine. Learn from that failure and just keep trying. I think it's when you stop trying, that's really when you fail, right? That's the really only failure is when you stop trying. So I think just find it within yourself to block out the noise and just be okay with trying new things over and over, and really just finding your voice, right? And not letting anyone shut that down. Be tenacious, have that tenacity, keep trying day in and day out, and I think eventually you're going to be successful.
Awesome. A tip of advice that I always give and I always share is essentially just get started. I think a lot of people really overthink the process, and in a way you probably should be thinking about how you're going to go from A to Z, but don't try to make it so far in terms of I want to do that, but I don't know how to get there. You know, the first thing you got to do is you got to learn how to, you know, you got to learn how to crawl before you walk. You know, you got to learn how to walk before you run, and it's all in steps. So essentially, that's the reason why we, you know, we launched a channel. The reason why, you know, it's amazing to be able to work with people from Bella and all kinds of suppliers from around the world now. The whole goal for the channel has always been, you know, how do we make it easier for people to just start? And once you get started, once you put that first foot forward, you get that first printing, that first T-shirt, you just feel like, oh wow, like I made this. You know, like I had this sketch and this design in my head, and now I got this. You know, and once you get that, you're able to say, okay, now that I have this garment, how do I go sell it? And then when you're out there pitching it to somebody, you're going to stumble across it. You're going to be like, hey, I got this thing I want to sell you, but so my brand's about this, and it's going to be very hard for you to like sell it at first, and it's going to be difficult to try to explain what your brand's about. But as soon as you start getting those reps in, you know, once you get those reps in, you're going to be a lot more confident, and you're really going to be able to speak to what your brand's about. So it all really starts with just taking that first step and getting that first design, getting that first sale, because from there you're going to be able to learn more about what you're all about and be able to really amplify that.
And I'll just speak to, you know, BELLA+CANVAS as a brand. BELLA+CANVAS was created almost 28 years ago by two of our founders. They started screen printing in their garage. So you never know where, like he said, starting from ground zero could take you. And everybody has a voice, everybody has something that they believe in, and having your own brand is a great way to portray that to the world. And I've seen some really fantastic, strong messages portrayed through brands, and that's just something that is really fantastic that you could provide to the world.
So I would say to start with finding your brand DNA and find out what you want your brand to stand for and what you want to represent, and kind of work from the back to the front. And then once you get that inspiration and find out what you want your brand to stand for and your inspiration and your mission, I feel like the designing and all the other stuff will come really easy after that.
That's a great one. That's a great one. Awesome, guys. So I think that wraps up the Q&A panel. For those of you guys that are watching or perhaps just tuned in, this is the 1500 clothing line giveaway, which means we are about to announce the winners. And so thank you. You guys are great. Everybody watching from everywhere, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thanks for leaving the comments in the chat room. Thank you guys for being a part of this live stream. We are a little mobile, which means that we have a camera right up there where you guys are watching us, and we're going to try to move it over to this side. So I'm going to be trying it right now, and we're going to start moving around. Hopefully we don't hit anybody in the head with what we're doing. So yeah, let's just start moving over here. Join us over on this side. Yeah, we're good. Cool. So yes, if you guys are watching the behind the scenes on Instagram, you'll see what's going on right now. All right, cool. Oh. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Do we have a place to, or a shirt or something? Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. Just close my eyes. All right. All right. All right. So we have this piñata back here, and we got Medine right over here. He's gonna be the man. He's like that uncle that stays up in your roof and pulls a piñata during your birthday. And this one, we have the prizes inside. So of course we had to actually choose the winners before we made this piñata. That's the only way we were going to be able to actually put the names in there. So we randomized the list. So everybody that entered, we created this random list, and it was an auto generator which chose second place and first place. And then we also are going to award people with an extra bonus, so make sure you guys stick around until the very end to find out exactly what that is. More importantly, I want to give a huge shout out to BELLA+CANVAS and Let's Print LA. These people were the ones that made this giveaway possible, guys. So make sure you guys check out their channels, check out their content, and give them some love out on their social media sites. All right, I appreciate you guys, and let's start this. Okay, so essentially what I'm going to try to do is, since I don't have the bandana, I'm going to close my eyes, and hopefully I don't hit anybody. All right, so yeah.
There you go. Right. Good luck, everyone.
Where's the mariachi going?
Did the kitty get up? Oh, yeah. We did it. Woo! Nobody wants to get candy. You guys undo the plastic?
Okay, but once you do that,
We're going to be traveling back to Vegas, so I'm about to get some candy. Alright. Cleans up. I'm sorry for you.
no, yeah, no.
Where's the other egg? You guys see the other egg?
Right there. There's one back there too.
You got it. Oh, you can twist it, right? Oh, no, that actually broke really nice. Just twist it. Oh, you guys want to stand back here? Stand back? Yeah. Ooh, so these are the eggs, the names. Come on in, everybody.
I don't want to make sure it
Yeah, just get it in front of us. Yeah. Come on in.
Make sure you guys stay behind because I'm pointed that way. So everybody gets over there. Be careful.
We'll do that for first place, right?
I'm gonna hold the
Yeah.
second place, or first
Yeah.
place, and then you can do it all.
All right, cool. So we're going to start with second place. We put the names in here. We have the first name as well as their location. It's going to be up to you guys to actually claim it within 72 hours. It's going to be linked right down below as well, and we'll send out a confirmation email as well as social media posts. So you guys need to claim your prizes. All right, so let's get started. Second place. Drum roll, drum roll. Second place winner. That was a little early. Tiffany Atkins. Tiffany Atkins from Kansas Avenue. Yeah, behind us. Let's go.
Oh my god.
So,
We'll have to wait for it. I didn't know what I was expecting. I didn't know what was going to happen.
all right, we're okay. We're okay. All right, so second place, Tiffany Atkins from Kansas Avenue Northwest. All right, so you have to confirm with me. You also have to let me know what email you use for this so we could confirm your award. All right, so Tiffany, shout outs. She wins the second place prize.
Congrats.
Congrats, Tiffany.
Once again, second place prize was a $50 sampling credit with Let's Print LA, $50 in samples with Bella Canvas, and a full access to the Ground Up Academy. All right, so now we have first place. This is the one who's essentially going to win the grand prize. Are you guys ready? Sit. Pedro De Leon is first place. Oh, that thing is pretty cool. So we were going to use confetti, but then it was going to make a lot more mess. So Pedro De Leon is first place, and Pedro, you're essentially going to win the full $300 sampling credit from Bella Canvas, $300 sampling credit from Let's Print LA, and full access to the Ground Up Academy. Guys, this is amazing. Thank you guys all for actually, first of all, thank you guys for being here and having us. And Claire and the team at Bella Canvas, thank you guys for putting this on. And we're sorry about the mess we're gonna leave. We'll try to clean up a little bit before we leave. Thank you for providing entrepreneurs with that printing availability. So now if you're watching this, like I promised, we're going to give a special prize to everybody that entered. So here's a special prize that everybody gets. You're going to get a 20% off sampling credit. 20% off on your order.
First
So
order,
you want to speak on that?
So thanks again, everyone who joined the raffle. I want to definitely huge shout out to everyone for that exposure and all the hard work going into putting this together. So so a consolation prize for everyone that entered. They're going to get 25% off their first print order with Let's Print LA. So that's anything as far as sampling. We can go over like minimal order quantities. We can walk you through the whole process A to Z. Just as a little thank you for everyone for joining.
That's amazing, guys. So you guys are saving money on your first order, and then we're also discounting the Ground Up Academy course. We're going to give $150 off of that course, so you guys are entering it at a discount. We're going to list those prizes and bonuses as well as the winners right down below in the list, linked right down below this video when it goes published. So once again, I'll also be forwarding those emails with the prize information. Let's Print LA may also be getting in contact with you guys to letting you guys know about that promotion, and Bella Canvas may also be following up with everybody who entered. So thank you everyone for being here and for making this such an amazing event. This was the first time that we did something like this, which is
So cool.
it was really cool, guys. So thank you guys all for watching, and make sure that you subscribe to this channel, that you check out the links down below, and stay tuned for the next live video and the next video that we have coming to our channel. Cool. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.